everyone, today we're going to make organic stewed tomatoes. And because me and my husband couldn't find any tomatoes, organic tomatoes anywhere in our area, we decided to use canned diced tomatoes from Costco. So we're going to try this out. I'm just going to pour the can of tomatoes in the pot along with our celery chopped up that I'm going to show you. I'm going to chop this up, and our peppers and our onions over here. We're going to chop them up. I have a chopper over here. We can chop these up. So we're going to get started with our onions first, and then we're going to go ahead and try to make organic stewed tomatoes out of canned tomatoes, which is a very first thing for me ever. We're going to do the same process because we have vegetables involved in our stewed tomatoes. We have to can them, pressure can them because of the vegetables. So I got a bowl over here. We're going to put our onions and our peppers and our celery all in a bowl, and we'll chop it all up first, and then we'll dump all these cans. I got 2 cases, which is 16 cans of tomatoes, and we'll see how much that gives us for our quart wise. So let's get started chopping up our onions. I just washed my hands over here, and now we're going to get going with our onions. I'm just going to cut the ends off here and peel them. I take quite a bit off the first layer because I don't throw these away. These onion peels, I use them for my chicken stock and my beef stock that I make homemade. But there's a sticker on there, so I'll take that off. And I'm just gonna put all these aside, and I'll show you what I do with them later. So I have a handy dandy chopper right here. I'm just gonna slice this onion down into quarters. I'm going to quarter it in half there, and we're going to open this up. We're going to set our onions in here, and it chops super easy. Super easy. Gets the job done in no time. Less tears, more work. Less work, less tears. So there's our chopped onions. Here's our bowl over here. I'm just going to stick it in the bowl. And we'll just go at it and get quite a bit of onions here. I got 5 onions to chop up. So we'll figure out how much onions we're going to need in our sauce. So I'll do it one more time for you guys. Here's our onion. We're gonna cut off the ends. Don't throw these away. This is from a vegetable stock or chicken stock, whatever stock I use. Here's the sticker. I'm just gonna peel that sticker off and put it in the trash over here. And then I'm going to take off the first layer because the skin and the first layer has a lot of goodness. There's some dirt on that side, so I'm going to rip that off and put it over there in the trash. And this is all really good for my chicken stock and beef stock and vegetable stock, whatever I have. So remember, you quarter them, each half, quarter them. Stick them in the chopper and chop. I think I might do the celery and the peppers the same way. I'm not sure yet. I might just slice them. But here's the onion, our second onion. Done, just like that. There it is. So I will continue to chop these other onions up, and then I will get back with you. Here's my last onion going down right now. I'm going to chop it up. It's only been a few minutes since I did it, and here they go in the chopper. Just works so fast. One of these doohickey things, handy dandy choppers, work so fast. So fast. And here's our onion. There's our onion all chopped up. Now I'm going to do the celery next. I might use the chopper for the celery because it works so fast. I'll try it out. Let me get it prepared for you, and I'll be back with you. We have the celery, and the butt of the celery, I put it in with my onion mixture over there, and I save it all. We can take these right here and chop them and save them for my chicken or beef stock, whatever we use for stock that I'm making. I'm just gonna put it all aside over there. All the ends all over there. Now I'm gonna wash all this, and then we'll chop it up in the chopper too. So I'll be back in a sec. The celery in the chopper, so I'm just gonna go little pieces like this, make them like this, put them in the chopper. Couple at a time, put them crossways, and chop them. Wow, that worked great. Never tried celery. Ugh, you have to pound it a little bit harder because it is celery. Maybe do it at a diagonal. So I'll do a few more here. We'll chop them up in thirds. Do a couple here, or you could go crossways, or I think diagonal works best. Cuts really well that way. So just throw them in here. Let's see what we got. And there's our celery all chopped up. And that worked out great. I'm gonna throw it in here with the onions, because when you make stewed tomatoes, you do celery, onions, and pepper. And I chose to do green pepper today. So let me chop these up, and I'll show you when we get ready to do the peppers. Here I am doing the last bit of the celery, and I found that doing a couple at a diagonal works best. The big ones you have to do in one. There's our last two at a diagonal. There's our celery all done. That's a whole celery stalk. Now we're going to get ready to do our peppers. But before that, I'm going to show you how to take care of all the scraps over here for stock making. A freezer bag. So we're just going to throw all this stuff in here, all the onion peels and all the celery, leftovers. And I do carrots too in the same bag. When I have carrots, I just put the ends of the carrots in this bag. I got quite a few of them in the freezer right now. I do have to make chicken stock again, so I'll end up throwing all these in there. So I just want to get all the air out. Here's your bag of stuff to make your stock with. Your scraps, do not throw it away. It is perfect for stock making for beef, vegetable, and chicken. So I'm going to throw this in the freezer, and we're going to do our peppers next. I have my peppers washed, so I'm just going to slice them down. Get them prepared for the chopper. I think these will chop up really nice too. So I don't keep the pepper inside, we just throw that away in the trash. This has like some seeds on them. You want to get the skins out before you chop it. Try to get most of the seeds out. Having seeds in there is not a big deal. But I think we're going to maybe chop these up and quarter them the same way. Let's see what the chopper does. I don't think I've ever tried peppers, so we will see. Big enough piece for the chopper. We're chopping it up really nicely, so that makes my job a whole lot easier. It's kind of warm in here, so I am warm. And I have a little bit of cold, so that's why my voice sounds a little hoarse. But I wanted to make this job as easy as possible. So there we go. There's our chopped peppers. Wow, that just made the job so easy. I'm gonna dump those in here in my bowl over here. I'll show you the bowl when I'm done. I'll give all of it a mix it together. So I'm going to continue with these 3 other peppers, and I will see you in a minute. Last of the peppers over here. I'm going to finish these up. It went so fast, I cut them up and got it done quickly. I really like this chopper for that reason. I'm not sure where I got it from, but it is a handy dandy cutter, that's for sure. It cuts all things up. This would be a quick thing for a salsa too. I'm gonna put this over here in the sink. And now we got our great big bowl full of onions and peppers and celery. I'm gonna give this a mix. We want to mix it all up so it's evenly dispersed between celery and peppers when we add it to our tomatoes. So I'm just mixing it all up. And then when we put it in our tomatoes, we'll definitely stir it again. I really like peppers, so it looks like there's more peppers than anything. And if I don't use all this stuff, these onions and celery and peppers are a really good thing just to throw in stuff too. Like a soup or something, you know? Fall's coming, you know, and we're always making soup in the fall time. So I'm making these stewed tomatoes because I love stewed tomatoes in my chili. It tastes a whole lot better. So there we go, I got it all mixed up. So now I'm gonna get my big pot to put all the tomatoes in, and this, we're just gonna throw this whole bowl in there because I think this would be fine to put it all together, and we'll see how many jars we can get out of the tomato mixture. But I'll explain it as we go, as we're doing this process. So see you in a minute. Okay everyone, I'm gonna start with a case at a time. So we're gonna dump, open it up and dump and put our tomatoes in here. I heard that Roma tomatoes are a lot softer for stewed tomatoes, and these are organic Roma tomatoes in this can. And the vegetables that I use, the onion and the celery and the green pepper, are also organic. So I'll just dump all the case in there. We'll do it. We'll see how much a case gives us for our tomatoes. This is a big pot. I got this pot from my mother-in-law. It's a canning pot for tomatoes. I'm just not sure where she got it from. I'm sure you guys can look for them on Amazon. They probably have all kinds of canning things on Amazon. It looks like we're gonna have to do both cases because it doesn't give us a lot of tomato. Because I only have 3 left here. So I'll probably end up using both cases. I'm not sure how much tomatoes that's going to give us quart-wise, but we will find out. This is a start. If I don't think that there's going to be plenty of tomatoes for the season, for our stewed tomatoes for the season, for me making soup or whatnot, whatever that I use the stewed tomatoes for, I'll probably end up doing more of this by buying more cases of tomatoes. Here's our second can. I'm just going to go ahead and put our second case in there also, because I didn't even really fill it up. So I can show you how much tomatoes are in there. There's that much. This might be a good hack for people that want to have all organic stuff. Stewed tomatoes. It might be a really good hack for people. A simple, easy way to make stewed tomatoes. I know it sounds crazy to open up a can of tomatoes and then can it again in a quart-sized jar, but this will be shelf stable. This is shelf stable too, but it's not stewed tomatoes. So I'm making it the way I want to make it, and with organic tomatoes. My husband had the great idea to do that because these are all organic tomatoes. And we had a hard time finding them at the market this year. Our normal person that we go to the market with, he is not doing well, so he didn't plant a lot of things for his garden. So we kind of missed his perfect organic tomatoes this year. So we're just gonna do it this way and let's see how it turns out. You never know, it might be a really good thing. And a faster way of canning stewed tomatoes. So I'm gonna finish dumping these in here. We got a couple more in here. Here's our last one. Well, it gave us a half a pot of tomatoes, which isn't too bad. So I will show you the top side after I add all this. I think I'm just going to go cup-wise and add cups in here and see how much I really think I need. I'm not sure if I'm going to need it all. We'll see. And I can keep all this for the next batch that I do in the freezer and just thaw it and use it again because it's already ready, so I might as well. Or if I needed it for something else around whatever recipe I'm making, then I can use it for that too. I'm just going to look at this ratio in here and see if it's a good vegetable to tomato ratio. I think I put 4 cups in there so far. Maybe I'll do 5 or 6. These are big, healthy cups. Big ones. It's almost half a bowl. I think a half a bowl to 2 cases of jars look really well. It looks like a good ratio to tomatoes. So I think I will keep it like that. It looks like a good ratio. Now there's no salt in here or lemon juice. I'm going to put the salt at the bottom of the jars, a teaspoon at the bottom of the jars, and I'll put lemon juice in there also. So I'm going to move it over to the stove, and we got to cook it for about 10 minutes. We got to cook it until it starts boiling and then cook it for 10 minutes. So I'm going to take you over to the stove so we'll get back with you. So this looks like a really good ratio to me, to peppers and celery and onion for this much tomatoes. So we're going to turn on our stove to medium and get it cooking. And we want it to start boiling. And then once it starts boiling, we will cook it for about 15 minutes. And then I will come back with you when we start jarring it up. So with this extra mixture right here that's in this bowl, we're gonna put it in this bag and put it in the freezer. So I'm just gonna scoop it all up and it'll be ready for our next time. Now we need it for to make more tomatoes. I'm sure I'm gonna make more tomatoes, and this will make another 2 cases. Yes, this job is messy and it gets sticky. So try to clean your floors after you're all done, because things will fly everywhere and it'll make a big mess. So I'm just gonna dump everything in this bag and we'll throw it in the freezer and it'll stay good until I'm ready to make more. I'm sure I'll be making more because I have daughters that may want some stewed tomatoes. So it doesn't cost much for those cases at Costco of tomatoes. It only costs $9 a case for 8 cans. So this is our leftover mixture. So we're just gonna flatten it out and throw this in the freezer. This is what this is looking like so far. It's starting to cook. I came over here and stirred it. So we want it to get to the boiling point, and we don't want it to burn to the bottom of the pan because it can easily burn to the bottom of this pan. So I'm just watching it as I go. So I got my jars over here, and we're gonna put our teaspoon of salt in each one. This is Redmond's real salt, teaspoon. And then we're going to put 2 tablespoons of lemon juice in each one. One, 2. So we'll just put this in there, get it ready to go. My jars are already washed, been through the dishwasher, and I just stick them upside down. So there's 4, we'll do 5, we'll do 6. I'm not sure if that's how many I'll do, but here's another teaspoon in each one of my salt, and 2 teaspoons of lemon juice. And this is all organic lemon juice also, which you can buy at Costco. We get a little bit more than 2 teaspoons, it's okay. Don't worry about it. So there we go. We have 6 jars prepared to go. Now we're just waiting for it to cook. I'm not sure if it'll take 6, but I have my candy lids over here. I get these from Azure. And I have some other wide mouth ones that I had ordered online that are here. So. And my canner can only fit 4 at a time, my electric canner. So I'm hoping that we could get another batch, like 4. Maybe I should do 2 more. And then we could guarantee that there'll be 4, 2 batches, which would be 8 quarts. So I'll prepare these, and that way we can do 4 quarts at a time. And that would be 2 runs of it. And my electric canner. Which makes it very simple. So, there we go. We got all 8 of those ready to go. So, let's hope that we can get 8 batches of tomatoes in these. So we'll get back with you when we're ready, and then when the tomatoes are ready, and I'll show you the process. Looking good over here. I just gave it a stir. It started boiling a little bit. Looks like we're gonna get, I don't know, I'm praying that we get enough for 8 quarts in this batch. So I can do 2 batches. So we're just waiting for it to simmer, and then we'll let it go for 10 minutes. We're at a simmer now, so I'm gonna set a timer for 10 minutes, and I'm gonna turn it down a little bit because I don't want it to get scorched at the bottom. It will stay at a simmer, so It's looking really good. I just gave it a stir. So I'll set the timer for 10 minutes and then we'll let it cook for 10 minutes and it'll soften up our peppers and our celery a little bit more. So, and then we'll continue with the other process. Okay, our tomatoes are over here ready to go, and we're just gonna put them in the jar. Make sure you leave an inch headspace in each jar. At the top. So it kind of looks like that. We're gonna put this down and we wanna get all the air bubbles out of the jar. Just pushing it all down. And I'm gonna set it over here. And we're gonna continue with the other ones the same way until we're all done with our mixture. That's over here in this pot. I don't know how many quarts it's gonna make, but we shall see. Just make sure you get all the air bubbles out and make it to the inch headspace. I'm just setting them over here on the side as we're doing them. I can move these over. I'll put them over here on this so I don't move my table. I think this is a very simple way of doing it. Do this all the time. I mean, it really wasn't really hard at all, actually. A little bit of juice in there to top it off. And just continue to do it. Make sure you got all the air bubbles. Mixing up the lemon juice too and the salt at the bottom as you're pushing down on it. They cook down really nicely. The celery and the peppers got cooked a little bit. They're going to continue to cook when we put them in the pressure canner too. I haven't got that out yet. I just wanted to can up these and see how many we were going to be able to get out of this. Sure to keep everything clean. We have 4 so far. We got 4 more to go. Let's hope we can get 4 out of here. If not, I could do 3 in the canner too. It'd be nice if I got 8 quarts out of 2 cases. That would be like perfect number. That one's a little bit full, but once you get it down, this is a wide mouth. I have 1 wide mouth here, so it's going to take a little bit more tomatoes. I got wide mouth and small mouth in my mixture of jars. So that did take a little bit more. I think we're gonna get 8 out of here. would be perfect. That way, I know that we can get 8 quarts out of 16 cans of tomatoes, along with half a bowl of vegetables in there. So that would be a very good judge to judge it. So we can actually put a lot up on the shelf. I'm just gonna top these off with a little bit that's left in here. They all look about really good. There's a little bit left in there, not much, not even enough for a can. I mean, it's just skimming the bottom there. So it looks like we got 8 complete quarts out of 16 jars. I'm sorry, 16 cans, and a half a bowl of vegetables. So now I gotta go get my vinegar and wipe the rims and put my lids on and get my canner ready. So I got my canner over here, and we gotta put 2 quarts of water in there. So there's one. I'm gonna get some more water for the other one. Over here at the sink. I'll clean this out. There's just very little at the bottom of it. Pour this in there. So we have our 2 quarts of water in there now. I'm gonna get some vinegar and we're gonna wipe these rims and put our lids on them. So what you do is take vinegar. I have apple cider vinegar. It doesn't matter what vinegar you use. I don't have regular vinegar. Any vinegar will clean it. So you just wipe the rims clean, because you don't want any bits on the rims at all. It will stop the lid from sealing. So just wipe them all down with your vinegar. Just pour some on the paper towel and clean them really well. All around. Make sure they're good and clean. And then I'm gonna get my lids out here. Put all the smallmouths on there. All the smallmouths are on there. Then we're gonna put a largemouth over here on there, on the one largemouth that we have. Put our rings on them. I have a whole slew of wide mouth rings. I tie them on a rope so I won't lose them and hang them on my canning shelf. It's a good hack to use. So here is one largemouth canning ring. I'm gonna tie this back up so I won't lose them. I just threw them in this box over here where I grabbed the jars from. So it's tied, won't lose them. And then you just want them finger tight. Finger tight. Just enough to tighten. Just one little tight. Finger tight. Put it in the canner. Now I have to get some smaller ones over here. Untie this and grab from my stack here for the small ones. A lot of nice ones, nice rings. I reuse the rings, so you want them nice. It's just finger tight. We're putting it in the canner over here. We can only put 4 in at a time. Just barely tight. So there's the 4. And I'll grab 4 more rings out for later. And tie these back up. I saw this on a video of one of my YouTube videos that are YouTubers that I follow. It's a really cool hack to do that, so you won't lose them. So you just tie them on a rope, hang them on your rack, and you have them. There's our 4 extra down here for these. I'm not gonna put them on there because it's hot, they'll end up sealing when they're not supposed to be sealed. So I'll just let them sit there. So I gotta figure out how long the candy is for. So I'll get back with you in a sec. Here are my 4 in the jar with my 2 quarts of water. It says to can them for 20 minutes. So we're gonna shut the lid, and it's shut, and we're gonna push high for 20 minutes. And push start. So that starts the process. Up here, we're gonna want it to be on the vent. So the steam will come out for 10 minutes, and then when it tells me to push it the other way, then we'll do that process. So I will show you when we get to that point, when it starts counting down. It's still working, trying to get to the timer stage. It is venting now. The steam is coming out. So it does this for about 10 minutes. So when it's ready for the timer, I'll show you what that looks like. Here it is, ready to go. The timer is off. 20 minutes. Steam coming out of it still. And it's timing down. The steam will come out. It's not totally sealed. It doesn't matter if the steam comes out, but that's how it works. So the timer's counting down, and I'll show you when they come out of the hammer. It's calmed down a little bit, and we got 7 minutes left on the timer. After the timer is up, we will have to let it set and naturally release, because you don't want to mess with it. You just want to let it natural release. It takes about 10 minutes for it to natural release. So I'll let it do that before we pull it out of the canner to put the other 4 in. This is a good, simple, easy process. I'm really liking this. I mean, maybe we learned how to do it a fast way. A hack by buying cans of tomatoes to turn into stewed tomatoes. I'll probably end up getting 2 more cases and do it again. So yeah. So I will show you the end process as they come out of the canner, and we will put the other 4 in and go from there. A little bit of air out that's in there. It's not much. Not much that's gonna hurt the jars. So we'll let it out. It's been releasing for about 10 minutes now, so there's not much in there left. Just enough so we could turn the lid so we can look at our tomatoes. We'll just let it steam out. We'll let that little pressure gauge go down. This is a very nice Nesco electric canner. There is another electric canner that you could get. I got this one as a Christmas gift 1 year for Christmas, and it works really well. It makes the job so much easier. So it's almost done releasing. You can turn the lid. Almost be able to get it off. See how it's loosened up a lot when you turn it? You just want to be able to get it to the open, and that's the lock. The gauge has almost gone down. There it goes. It's released. So when you open up the lid, you gotta go away from you because all that hot steam's gonna come out. Looks like it did really well. We don't have any siphoning or anything. So I'm gonna pull these out one by one. You don't want them to touch each other when you take them out. Want them to stay away from each other so they can cool down. So there's our 3. Looks pretty clean in there. So there's our 4 cans. Our 4 quarts done. Now we're gonna let them, they'll cool down. Eventually they'll all pop. And we will have 4 done so far. So we're gonna put the other ones in. Rings around them. I'm gonna shut the lid. And we're gonna steam this out. And set the same timer as high for 20 minutes. And let us do its thing. So I hope you enjoy these canned tomatoes a faster hack way. We'll just wait for these to pop. I'm sure they will, and they'll be all good to go. That's just the water. There's nothing leaking out of there. It's just the water from the canner. So once these have popped, I'll show you that they're popped. All right? So we'll get back with you when they're all popped and cooled down. I took the new ones out of the canner. They're all cooled, but they're not popped yet. These ones popped and they're all sealed. All 4 of these are sealed. So I can take the lids off, or the rings. They come off really easy. Well, that one didn't. Those 2 are pretty tight, but I gotta use 2 hands. They will come off, and we'll clean it up and put the date on there and what we canned. So I hope you guys enjoy. I will take a picture of the jars when they're all done, and enjoy your day.